to welcome Dr. Allison Marie Loconto, who is a sustainable trade and innovation expert at the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO. She is Deputy Director of the Interdisciplinary Laboratory for Science, Innovation and Society, and a senior researcher at the French National Research Institute for Agriculture, Food and Environment. Dr. Allison Marie Loconto, I welcome you. Please speak with our guests.
Thank you very, very much. I am very honored to be here today and to see so many familiar faces. Thank you very much to the organizers, to the AFSA board. It is an honor to be able to represent the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN in this forum. As you all know, the question of food security and food sovereignty are within the mandates of FAO. And since the protests organized by Via Campesina in 1996 at the World Food Summit, food sovereignty has always been a point of discussion and lively debate within FAO. With regards to the question of agroecology, this is something that FAO has begun to work on in recent years, and I'm here today representing the group within FAO that focuses specifically on agroecology and alternative approaches to plant production and protection. And so what I want to do is I prepared a little presentation so that I can provide a bit more useful information here to talk about really what has been going on and how the FAO is supporting these very important initiatives and these very important topics. So I don't know if you can see the screen. I had started to share it. I think it should be okay. As you may have remembered, the FAO began a international symposium initiative in 2014 with the very first Global Agroecology Symposium that took place in Rome. And at this symposium, the FAO Director General had said that he hoped that we would be breaking the cathedral of breaking the windows of the cathedral of the Green Revolution with this initiative. And when we completed the cycle in 2018, he again confirmed this, that the work that we were able to do in terms of mobilizing the existing movements across the world and particularly in Africa to talk about questions of agroecology and to bring them up onto the international political agenda was a very large achievement. And a lot of the people who are here today are responsible for that. So I want to thank you all very much. But what is important to understand is that we have not stopped there. FAO has continued to work and is now supporting a scaling up agroecology initiative. And they have begun to bring in a number of international partners, particularly the Rome-based agencies, the Convention on Biodiversity, the UN Development Programme, the UN Environment, WHO, and the World Bank just joined last year. And so we're going to see a lot more of these large international intergovernmental organizations also beginning to promote agroecology. Specifically with regards to FAO's work, we have focused on 3 core countries where specific initiatives are taking place with the member governments to focus on how to put into place policies that can support agroecology. And Mexico, India, and Senegal are the leaders in this initiative. Moving forward, we have 3 areas of support that FAO provides: policy processes, building the connections, and knowledge and innovations, where we're looking to bring together knowledge that exists around the world and to then be able to better diffuse this around the world, particularly to policymakers. The tools that we have to do this are linked to some of the work that was developed during the global dialogue and particularly afterwards in terms of the partnerships. The 10 Elements of Agroecology is a conceptual framework that has been endorsed now by the FAO members, and this happened last year, and we have the first international instrument is available on this topic that can be shared. The TAPE, which is the tool for agroecology performance evaluation, this is a tool to evaluate the performance of farms and territories. So we're looking at the territorial level, not just at individual farms. Because of the collective nature of agroecology, we're interested in understanding what the impacts are on different aspects of sustainability, of landscapes, and also how these how agroecological approaches can be linked and deliver on the Sustainable Development Goals. So we have an upcoming project sponsored and funded by the Global Environment Facility, Jeff, in Mali, where we're going to be looking at how to link TAPE and the territorial markets participatory methodology that FAO has been supporting through the Committee on World Food Security. And we're going to be looking at how we can apply that, particularly in Mali. In the Agroecology Knowledge Hub, this is a dynamic platform, and it has a number of community of practices, and there are a number of tools and resources. And I just wanted to highlight here some resources that have already been published by our group, focused on innovative markets and markets for agroecology, where we focus on the traditional as well as the new and emerging markets that are able to value agroecology for local consumption. And as I mentioned before, we have a number of partner mechanisms that we're exploring, particularly in terms of what's happening in West Africa. ECOWAS has requested FAO to develop and elaborate a regional investment program on agroecology. And this was in response to the climate change and nutrition challenges that are very present in West Africa and are being exacerbated actually through the COVID crisis, as well as the food security crisis, particularly in the Sahel. The first step, which has already been undertaken and which will be completed this year and early next year, are national assessments by national consultants in each of these 10 first countries. And what will be happening over the next year is to organize workshops to validate these national reports. And then there will be discussions, and FAO will engage with ECOWAS to work on how to better incorporate the stakeholder inputs into these programs, and then bring these to roundtables of donors in order to be able to mobilize funds to support a 10-year program on agroecology for West Africa. So going back to the 10 elements of agroecology and why we want to talk about these today in particular is because there are a number of elements here that are needed for agroecological markets. And so if we think about what it is about agroecological production that is very important and is very much of interest to consumers who are eating these products, we can call them eaters, the diversity that comes from agroecological production systems is the basis of how we can build markets. There is the need to co-create and share knowledge, not just about production practices, but about how to organize and how to value these particular products, specifically in local and domestic markets and in regional trade. These types of markets need to make sure that human and social values are what is driving what we are eating in line with culture and food traditions. And the more that we can organize the market component of food systems around responsibility and fairness and creating circular and solidarity economies, this is where we're going to be able to find those markets that are really benefiting the producers and the consumers of agroecological foods in Africa, but not just in Africa, around the world. Just a quick definition here for the circular and solidarity economy that is included in the agroecology points, in these 10 elements. There is a specific focus on what is called short food supply chains, or circuit court in French, and particularly focusing on maintaining fair prices for consumers and ensuring fair incomes for producers as well. And particularly appreciating the hidden value of biodiversity and ecosystem services that agricultural production can bring, and therefore we can value these in the market transactions as well. I'm going to end here with a little plug for a manual that we've just published, because this manual is available in French and English. And here it is the result of a participatory project since 2013, where we have been working with innovators across the world to understand how they have been able to create markets for agroecological products in their local food systems. And it provides tips and examples and tools to help anybody who's interested in doing this to pick it up and apply it in their own context. In Africa, we are working in Tanzania, Uganda, Morocco, and Senegal, and we will be working in the future in Burundi and Mali with this. And so this is something that we are very interested that everybody can freely gain access to and look at and read at as they wish. I'm going to close here with just information about a new community of practice that is available online specifically for agroecology in Africa. And everyone is welcome to sign up and join us, because we want to really be able to facilitate this dialogue and the sharing of ideas on how to transition to agroecology within Africa, but around the world as well. Thank you so much for listening. And as I mentioned before, I am very, very honored to be here. I'm looking forward to hearing the interesting discussions and ideas that will come out of this conference. Thank you so much.
So much, Dr. Allison, and the pleasure is ours as well to have you join us this conference.